I'm Nicole Henderson. Coming up, how will Marshall University students vote in the upcoming presidential primaries?
Not only is voting a serious issue here at Marshall, but the university also strives for diversity. I'll give you the inside on the second annual Holi Festival that happens here on campus. I'm Imani Spradley. MU Report starts now.
From the campus of Marshall University in Huntington, West Virginia. West Virginia's college news leader, the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications. This is MU Report.
Hello, and welcome to this 2016 edition of Marshall University's MU Report, a student-produced newscast of the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications. We're bringing this newscast to you from our studio in Huntington, West Virginia, and this is our final show of the spring term. We're so glad you're joining us for this statewide broadcast of Campus Connections. I'm Ishmael Witten.
And I'm Audrey Horsley. Now, our top story. Of social justice issues causing a buzz on university campuses, few have the power to create such passion as transgender discrimination, real, implied, or perceived. Many Marshall students are following North Carolina's so-called bathroom bill, which forces transgender people to restrooms based on their birth certificate. Turns out Marshall may have managed the issue much more humanely more than a year ago, when it converted to many restrooms to gender neutral and added locks. House Bill 2, otherwise known as North Carolina's bathroom bill, allows legal discrimination against the LGBT community, taking what some would say is 2 steps back in the fight for equality.
I think that it's a step back for we just passed national legal marriage, and this is a huge step.
The bill requires that transgender people use the public restroom that corresponds with the gender on their birth certificate, which is difficult for those transitioning.
The bathroom choice should be yours, and it should be based on whatever you identify as long as you're not harming anybody, then I don't see the problem of it. I think it should be based on your comfort.
Honestly, it never crossed my mind because I don't think people should make a big deal about having to use the restroom because everyone has to use it.
But that's not all the bill does. It also limits claims of discrimination for any reason and affects minimum wage standards for private employers. Many other states have proposed laws that are similar, and this includes West Virginia's recent Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Now, companies like PayPal, Apple, and even the NBA, just to name a few, have opposed the law, and some have threatened to leave the state. For now, the bathroom law is in place for public property, but private property and business owners are allowed to have their own non-restrictive bathroom rules. MU Report should say, in fairness to the bathroom bill supporters, that many see no harm in the mandate. They cite their own research, claiming to do otherwise is a threat in their eyes to women.
It's not permanent, but it's still causing a stir on Marshall's campus. Students are filling surfaces with chalk-written support for political views and candidates on sidewalks and concrete everywhere. And that prompted MU Report's Nicole Henderson to ask students about politics in this hot presidential season.
2016 is the year of elections, and in just a few short months, the 45th President of the United States will be elected into office. Marshall students say they're not sure who they're going to vote for.
I'm not 100% positive who I'm going to vote for yet.
I'm probably not going to vote because I don't agree with anything they say.
I'm not voting for anybody because I feel like they're not qualified to run our country.
I don't really like any of the candidates or their policies. I think all of them are very extreme.
The Republicans hate Muslims and the Democrats are too liberal.
On the other hand, some students say they know exactly whom they plan to vote for.
I'm going to vote for Bernie Sanders.
I'm voting for Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
Right now I'm leaning towards Bernie.
He's very understanding to what it means to be like a college student.
Because he stands for women and their rights, he's for the LGBT youth, and as a future teacher, he's for the children, and that's so important to me.
Although students' responses who say they are supporters of the Democratic candidate seem to be in unison here on Marshall's campus, the Republican supporters' responses seem to be a bit more diverse.
Who do you hope will it be?
John Kasich, even though it's a long shot, but I'm hoping that other people drop out and he slides in.
I'm probably going to vote for Donald Trump. I'll be voting for Ted Cruz. I personally like Bernie Sanders' ideals, but they're not realistic. Everybody votes for him that wants free college. Well, the U.S. has offered free college for several years now. It's called the GI Bill. Spend 4 years in the military, you can go to college like me.
While most students here on Marshall's campus say they're not sure who they're voting for in the upcoming primary elections, one thing is for sure, the issue isn't going away. Nicole Henderson, MU Report.
The thing about the chalk messages has caused student activities to call a town hall meeting. Marshall says it wants to respect First Amendment rights, but come up with a different way of expressing the views.
You may have seen videos of people cheerfully throwing bright pastel-colored dust around in celebration. Well, Marshall students are doing the same to illustrate diversity on campus. Imani Spradley reports diversity is much more than color. It's about an open mind.
Some would say Marshall University is an institution that strives for diversity. As for the Into program on campus, they do just that. They facilitate in making the campus more diverse by exposing the students to many different cultural experiences, including Holi, otherwise known as the Day of Colors.
Holi Festival India is mainly of food, music, dance. So any Indian festival without these three aspects, it's not a complete festival. So that is how we celebrate.
Holi is a holiday that originated in India, and according to Indian beliefs, when the devil Holika was burned in a fire, the Indian people took her ashes and celebrated her death. Over the years, the celebration was turned into the throwing of colors, that just last year was introduced to the Marshall University campus. Despite the weather, that's just what they had: food, music, and a little bit of dancing. Students came out to participate in the celebration with the Into students.
I mean, the thing that I really love about Marshall University is the participation that the students have with international students and their celebrations. So I thought the best way to get closer to the international students is to celebrate with them.
Holi Day is a day that's celebrated in the Indian culture every single year. They throw colors to get rid of the bad spirits and to bring in the new ones. Imani Spradley, MU Report.
The graphic way of celebrating cultural diversity is one of many, and it comes in a political season when some view others with suspicion instead of tolerance.
And a move that continues to stoke division among college students, the FBI has asked iPhone maker Apple to unlock yet another phone. The government dropped its case against the tech giant about the San Bernardino terror attacks, but it now wants another phone decrypted and unlocked in a New York case. Many students and privacy rights groups say the request is abusive government overreach. Law enforcement says it needs a key to phones to access information to build strong cases. Several Marshall students say while they get the need to do a criminal case thoroughly, they still question whether the request sets a bad precedent for the future.
If they have access to everything, I mean, I don't really use my computer or my phone for anything other than talking to my friends and family and schoolwork. So, I mean, there's not really anything super personal on there except maybe my credit card information or things like that. Like if I order stuff online, shopping, that's the only thing I would be concerned about them getting a hold of. Or maybe somebody hacking into the database and, you know, getting into my stuff. But I guess if they make it so that the company can access it, anybody can hack in and access it, and that wouldn't be, I don't really like that.
Apple continues to tell the government no at every turn. And since the first case, many other companies have joined a growing chorus demanding the government back down.
Marshall University is home to many athletes, and all will tell you they bring their A game everywhere they suit up. But what happens when the home field advantage doesn't actually mean playing at home? MU Report's Brittany Fowler found out exactly how important it is for Marshall athletics to one day have its own baseball field.
About 7 miles outside of Marshall University's campus is the George T. Smales baseball field, which the Marshall baseball team has been given permission to use. Many people may ask why they don't just practice on their own field, but the problem is they don't have one. 2 players shared their thoughts on not having a field and agreed it's actually not that bad.
I mean, we didn't have a home field at my junior college either, so it's not really a big deal for me.
I mean, I was skeptical at first, but
everything works out. You know, we go out to Power Park and we play at a nice minor league complex, so can't complain about that.
The National College Athletic Association said that since the field has limited seating, locker rooms, and lies outside the city's flood walls, it makes it ineligible for conference play. But the players said that even though they're okay with not having a field, they feel the program would greatly improve from one being built.
I think we would get a lot more support from the student body. If we had a field on campus, it would be a lot easier to come to home games, and just being able to be out on the field as much as possible would help us a lot.
More people would want to come, knowing that we'd have a good atmosphere because we'd have actual students and fans to come out to the games instead of having to drive an hour to not have an actual home field.
Now, talk has been circulating within the athletic department about a new field being built, but until then the team's going to have to continue to play at Power Park Stadium in Charleston, West Virginia until then.
Brittany Fowler, MU Report.
Leave it to players to drive through any ordeal with a great attitude. But there are still many, both inside athletics and out, who say having no field is unacceptable.
It's no secret some West Virginia residents look at Marshall as the little brother when it comes to sports, although we wish they wouldn't. Yet, athletic programs here aren't looking for a sibling rivalry. Instead, they're looking to establish themselves as the premier program at Marshall. When thinking of sports and Marshall University in the same realm, you instantly think we are Marshall. In recent years, the Thundering Herd football program has created a bit of a storm when it comes to the NFL draft, having 5 players drafted in the last 5 years following a 3-year drought.
I don't think there's any question that every high school football player's dream is to play in the NFL at some point. So, you can accomplish your goals and dreams right here at Marshall University.
Following football season and seeing the Herd partake in postseason activity, Marshall's women's basketball team looked to cross over into that lane as well.
Well, every student athlete we've ever recruited has gone to postseason play. I think that any time you can play as long as you can, I think you can only get better from it. You can learn from different situations, different scenarios.
Next at bat is the Marshall softball team. Though it's a little early to think about postseason play, national exposure is a pitch that this program can surely deliver to future recruits.
We started out of the gates 6-1, and then we went down and we played number 4 Alabama in a 4-2 game. We took them into the 7th inning, 2-2. They ended up hitting a 2-run homer to win it in the 7th. So that was a heck of an environment.
So who's the true alpha dog when it comes to Marshall athletics? Well, I'll let you decide. But if one thing's for certain, it's that Marshall has talent all across campus in more ways than one.
The William Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications has been a part of Marshall University's history since 1926. Today, the school offers 7 degree programs including advertising, radio and television production, sports reporting, public relations, and broadcast, online, and print journalism. SOJMC prepares students for the opportunities and challenges of the industry. Professional-oriented courses as well as hands-on learning environments help students gather real-world experience before stepping out into their field of choice.
Welcome back. There's more news at Marshall than there is time to cover it, so we have to go. We're always on YouTube, Herd Video, and you can follow us on social media. Our advisor is Dr. Christopher Swindell, and you can reach him at swindell@marshall.edu. West Virginia Public Broadcasting will re-televise this show Monday. I'm Andrea Horsley.
And I'm Ishmael Witten. We're both graduating next month, so this is our swan song. On behalf of all the MU Report team moving on to careers or graduate school, so long and thanks for watching.